and welcome. This week we have the message from our visiting guest speaker, the Rev.Sydney from Stoke Poges, who explores how we can find peace in Christ in the scriptures of Romans chapters 2 to 5. Carry on listening, and I hope you enjoy it. God bless. See you next time.
You know that exact feeling, right? Like you're muting your WhatsApp group chats just to get 5 minutes of actual silence.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe you're like the mother mentioned in today's source material, literally hiding in the bathroom to escape the kids.
I mean, we've all been there.
Right. We constantly treat peace like an escape hatch. So today, our mission for this deep dive is unpacking a pretty fascinating sermon on Romans chapters 3 through 5.
Oh.
And we are diving straight into its theological perspective on, well, human flaws, inner peace, and the hidden purpose behind our suffering.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how this text draws a crucial distinction about what we're actually trying to escape. Because, I mean, there's a fundamental difference between desperately seeking peace from God.
Like treating the divine as just another exhausting demand.
Exactly,
right?
Like another demand you're hiding in the bathroom to avoid. But the text contrasts that with having an internal peace with God, which is something that holds up regardless of the chaos outside the door.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because achieving that internal peace requires understanding this word, justification. And for anyone listening who has spent time in theological circles, we already know the classic courtroom analogy.
Right, a judge declaring you not guilty.
Yeah, not because you're perfect, but because his son paid the debt.
Yeah.
But in our modern hyper-meritocratic society, that concept is incredibly hard to swallow. We are so wired to earn our keep.
Oh, the psychological friction is very real there. And the source material actually uses a car wash analogy to highlight how backward our instincts are.
A car wash?
Yeah, so we naturally try to get out a bucket and scrub off the worst of the dirt before we drive into the pressure washer.
Which makes no sense when you think about it.
Right, it doesn't. But Romans 3 and 4 argue that justification is entirely unearned. The text explicitly emphasizes that Christ died for humanity while they were yet sinners, not after they tidied up their lives.
So the pressure washer does the work. But I have to push back on this a bit, because if we don't have to clean ourselves up, doesn't that just invade, total complacency?
That's a common reaction, yeah.
Like, how does this unearned grace actually lead to a profound internal peace instead of just spiritual apathy?
Well, that is exactly the mechanism Romans is trying to explain. It's not about apathy at all. It's about shifting your entire baseline.
Meaning what exactly?
Meaning when your standing is no longer based on your own exhausting day-to-day performance, that desperate bathroom hiding anxiety just evaporates. The peace treaty is signed, basically.
So the internal war to constantly prove your worth is over.
Precisely.
Which brings us to the elephant in the room from Romans 5. If the war is over and we have this ultimate peace, why is daily life still so brutal?
Yeah, that's the big question. The sermon outlines this sort of spiritual production line, right? Where suffering leads to perseverance, perseverance produces character, and character results in hope.
And it's a highly counterintuitive take, especially when we consider how suffering often just feels, completely destructive.
Exactly. And the speaker actually shared this really frustrating travel anecdote to illustrate this.
Oh, right. The one with the flight mix-up.
Yeah, navigating a Gatwick flight mix-up, dealing with a dead car battery, just a total mess. But it culminated in seeing this sign in Ghana that read, "No Jesus, no peace. No Jesus, no peace." Spelled K-N-O-W.
That's clever, but honestly, trauma often just produces more trauma. So how does this text bridge the gap between suffering and character without slipping into, toxic positivity?
Well, it avoids toxic positivity by not pretending the pain isn't real. The sermon uses the analogy of exercise equipment.
Oh, like lifting weights.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody buys a set of heavy weights because they enjoy being in physical pain. They buy them because they understand the underlying biological mechanism.
Which is that tearing muscle fibers is the exact process required to build strength.
Right. The text argues there is a direct spiritual equivalent to that.
Kind of like the teabag analogy the speaker uses. A teabag sitting in cold water doesn't do much of anything.
No, not at all.
It's only when you drop it into boiling water that its true flavor is forced out. The heat doesn't change what's in the bag, right? It just exposes it.
Precisely. The boiling water of suffering strips away our superficial layers. Perseverance isn't just gritting your teeth.
Just toughing it out.
Yeah, no, it's the active process of discovering what your faith is actually made of. That tested character is what finally produces a durable hope, because your faith is no longer theoretical. It's been proven in the heat.
So bringing it all together, the core thesis here likens this spiritual reconciliation to a peace treaty between two warring nations. The weapons are down. And because that foundational status is secure, the speaker argues believers have every reason to be the most hopeful people in town.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, this theology provides a remarkably comprehensive framework. I mean, it frames the past as entirely forgiven, the present as having a very deliberate purpose.
Even the boiling water part.
Especially the boiling water parts. And it frames the future as completely secure.
It completely flips the paradigm. So we'll leave you with this to mull over today. If our character and our deepest hopes are truly forged in the boiling water of our hardest moments, how might viewing your very next daily frustration as a deliberate tool for your own refinement change the way you react to it?
It's a great question.
Next time you want to hide in the bathroom, maybe you don't need to mute the world after all. Maybe you just need to let the water boil.